We have some breaking news from the NHL. We have a pretty significant NHL trade. The New York Rangers, who have been struggling. We know that they've been rumored to be making lots of moves. They've traded youngster Kappo Kakko, the former number 2 overall pick, is on his way to Seattle. We'll discuss the return and what it means for both clubs coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have a pretty significant trade that went down here this evening. Of course, we're just a little over 24 hours away from the NHL roster freeze for the holiday season, December 20th at midnight. So tomorrow evening, once the clock strikes 12 minutes and it becomes Friday morning, the roster freeze kicks in and we cannot have any more activity. I believe it's for 1 week until the 27th or 28th when they resume NHL games. So for tonight, we've got a big deal to New York Rangers. We know Chris Drury's been actively, having lots of conversations based on what NHL insiders have been giving us for reports here over the last number of days. And of course, he recently traded Captain Jacob Trouba. And now we have our next move, which is trading the former number 2 overall pick, Kappo Kakko. He's been traded to the Seattle Kraken in exchange for defenseman Will Borgen, along with a 2025 third and 6th round picks. So they get Will Borgen and a 3rd and a 6th. It feels underwhelming, but I understand Kappo Kakko has not really produced at a higher level in the NHL. 2 years back, he had his best season. He played all 82 games and had a 40-point campaign. I believe that was the year he probably played a lot that year with the, they kind of had like a kid line with Hedel and Lafreniere. Obviously, since then, Lafreniere's kind of been elevated in the lineup, but Kakko's never really been consistently playing in the top 6. Now, he has had some opportunities, but not on a consistent basis to play more of an offensive role. But his defensive metrics are decent. He's a pretty good two-way player. And obviously, we've seen some fireworks lately around him with the New York Rangers here in the past couple of days. Of course, the team's been struggling. Like I said, we've heard lots of other trades. We've heard rumors that Chris Drury has pretty much almost everybody available outside of probably Shesterkin and Lafreniere. Elliot Friedman a couple of weeks ago dropped the bomb on us that Jacob Trouba and Chris Kreider's names were out there. Trouba has now gone to the Anaheim Ducks. The losing has continued. We've heard that owner James Dolan supposedly still supports Drury, and we shouldn't expect a change at the GM position here. But the team seems to be, just really not at a good place. So I understand the need for further change in the moves here. But of course, the lineup the other night ended up having Kappo Kakko outside looking in get health bombed. And then he comes back into the lineup in the last game, and he only played 7 minutes. And of course, after being health bombed, he was talking to the media, and he made some comments. He wasn't happy about it. He said he felt like it was basically, to kind of paraphrase, that it was easy to pick on the younger guy. That he didn't feel like by any means that he was the worst player in the lineup. He did admit he could play better, but at the same time, didn't think he was the worst either. So was kind of confused by the fact that it was him that had to come out of the lineup. And it just seems like over the last few years, like whenever they've run into any kind of slumps or anything and they need to make a change, it's always seems to be Kakko that gets the health bomb, and not necessarily some of your veteran guys that are not feeling it either. Like, are you gonna sit out Zibanejad even though his play hasn't been good lately? Hasn't happened, right? We have seen times where his ice time's been down, but still, I can understand why Kakko was upset. The claim here tonight is that his comments and reduced ice time had nothing to do with this trade. I believe that because Kakko's name has been out there for some time. I don't think this was new information that all of a sudden today after the comments that they started shopping him around. His name has been out there for a while. I think this would be really good for the Kraken. Another, former high draft pick that has potential that he hasn't been fully realized yet. I mean, look at Shane Wright. He was finally starting to find his game. He's scoring at a much better clip now. They've got Matty Beniers, Wright and Beniers along with Kakko. Kakko should be able to hopefully fit in with them and grow with this franchise. I mean, the Kraken are, a few years into their existence now. In year 2, they made a huge step forward, had a 100-point campaign, made the playoffs, and then they, from there, won a round as well. Came close to winning round 2. But then last year they fell back. This year they're kind of back again, like, so, I can understand some kind of retooling on the fly in Seattle. I think it's justified, and getting a chance to get a player like this, which is, to me, if you look at it, like it feels underwhelming just because of the what comes with Kakko with his draft stock. But that's fallen off obviously a lot since that draft year. I mean, remember the debate between Jack Hughes and Kappo Kakko, who was going to go first overall, who was the better player. And at this point, it's not even close. Jack Hughes has accomplished a lot more in the NHL than Kakko ever has. And, will Kakko get there? Can he get there? I think Seattle's a good spot for him to be. He'll get more opportunity, and it feels like it's a buy low opportunity for them. So I like this deal for Seattle. They've had their struggles this year, and I think it's worth taking the chance on a player of his age and stock, what he had when he was younger. For the Rangers, don't love the return, but it sends a message to this team. But they were pretty lucky with those draft lottery wins, getting Lafreniere first overall, Kakko second overall. I really feel like they've kind of fumbled those developments of both of those players. They weren't, for a team that was supposed to be rebuilding, I honestly thought they would rebuild more through the draft, but they did more through free agency than anything else. Panarin came as a free agent, Trocheck came as a free agent. You've seen guys like Adam Fox and Jacob Trouba kind of fall in their lap. They kind of insisted on going there. It's a unique spot, but at the same time, it's kind of unfortunate to see Kakko leave and to not get anything substantial coming back. I mean, no disrespect to Will Borgen, but I don't see him as being a substantial piece. Will it give their decor a different look? Sure. He's a serviceable guy, but I don't know that he's a whole lot more than that in third and sixth round picks. That's still another year away from even being selected. You're probably looking at 3 to 4 years before they have any chance to make it. Will either of those picks turn out to be anything in 5 years? You don't know, right? So it feels underwhelming. I wonder if another move might be coming soon enough for the Rangers and Chris Drury to kind of, bring in another player. They've recalled Matt Rempe, but I don't really see him as being the answer to replace Kakko either. So we'll see. Let me know what you think this means for both franchises, your thoughts on the trade, how it worked out, and what's next for the Rangers, especially as they continue to try to fight their way out of all this turmoil and slump that they find themselves in now outside of the playoffs looking in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'll discuss further. Of course, I'll be back a little bit later with another video recap on the rest of today's news and trade rumors from around the league. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.